Okay. Morning, guys. Thanks to all of you who logged in for the chat about how we're going to return back to college. If you've got any questions, please just yell. We will get it all sorted, and wait for communication from College Centrally about anything else. So, in theory, so far this week, you've gone through what Freud's psychodynamic theory is, all about the Oedipus complex, stages of development, the unconscious mind, and you've had a look at his little hand study to show how he was scared of a horse because the horse represented his dad, and he's scared that his dad was going to castrate him because he was experiencing the Oedipus complex. Obviously, sound. Okay, so it's now time to kind of finish going through stuff and to try and help sum up what you kind of know. So, as we try and do a Kahoot to kind of take place. Again, can't tell you how important it is for you to do these because I can see what questions you as a group have struggled on, so I can see what I need to go back through when we get to go back through this stuff. So that's why this is really important. So I'll, in theory, should get this into an email and get it all to you. So do that first. So then the evaluation. Okay. Some of this is quite straightforward, some of it not so. So the data type is qualitative, all written stuff here. Okay, so we get lots of detail about Hans' anxiety, his phobia and his life. However, it's hard to compare it with anything. Okay, and it's not very objective. It's a very subjective interpretation, isn't it? Okay, so are we 100% confident that we'd all see the same thing? No. Research method here. So we've got longitudinal again. So over a period of time, so over the 2 years, we can see the development of Hans and his phobia in the treatment, which is a positive. Okay. However, the weakness is we get loads of data and it's hard to kind of sift through it. But it's also a case study. So we get again lots of in-depth data about this one person, about his phobia, but a weakness is that you can't generalize this to anyone else. Okay, this is such a unique example, it's ungeneralizable. Ethics, like it's all right. Like I know it's odd and weird. The kid wasn't disturbed. Okay, obviously some of the things he says is quite early 20th century. Ooh, it's priggish. So ethics, we're probably all right, but obviously some of the leading questions from the father is an issue, may have led him to say or think different things, protection of harm, but not really. Is this reliable? No, it's not. It's all subjective. Okay, there's no standardized procedures. It was just his dad asking him questions and writing letters. Okay, so not consistent whatsoever. Is it valid? Oh, well, ecological validity. This is real life. This is happening to Freud, little Hans. This is his phobia. So has some ecological validity. However, is it measuring what it claims to measure? It depends on your viewpoint if you like Freud or not. Some people say it's just made up subjective rubbish to prove his theory. And others will kind of show it is really good evidence. We have issues with the validity also that the dad, this is like secondary data, the dad may have not recorded things that he's deemed not important. So the data collection method is not particularly valid as well. So there's a lot of validity issues, but it's the one thing with this, if you believe in Freud, you believe that this is evidence for his theory. If you don't, you think it's completely invalid. So it depends on your take here. Okay, sampling bias, an ethnocentrism. We've covered like there's only one person, so it's ungeneralizable. An ethnocentric, obviously, this is like a pretty rich middle class white kid from Austria in early 20th century, so it can't be generalized to any other culture in theory. However, Freud's theory is a big universal picture. Okay, that everyone would experience stuff like this, just would experience it differently. Okay, so get this into your grid, use your own brains as well, and then as always complete your 2 Ps. Obviously I've been like, some of these have been in the exam questions as well, so just remember that context in your explanation. as well. Okay, which leads us on to the exam questions. Yay! So these are the 11 marks exam questions as we do every week, apart from last week. I've been really impressed with most of your answers. I am certain that you're taking your time and doing them well, which is the idea. Keep getting that context in and remember the structure, but I'm pretty happy. So first two are quite standard Freud things. So first of all is outline the giraffe dream. Not loads of detail, but enough for 2 or 3 marks, or 2 marks, I think, 2 or 3 sentences. And then second question, explain how Freud explained the giraffe dream. So tell me his interpretation of it. Not that he visited a zoo and saw a giraffe. Not that. The whole sitting on them, what does that mean? And stuff like that. Yeah, who was who? So I'd expect those questions 1 and 2 to be done really well. Third and fourth questions are really, I like them. So outline how Freud's study of little hands may be considered low in validity. So go back to the video. What did we talk about? The data collection method, who did it, secondary data, it's subjective, so is it measuring what it claims to measure? So there's lots to go here with. So I'll be looking at structure more than anything. Context and your P structure, please. And then lastly, I'm going to be mean here. Outline how Freud's study is not considered scientific. Does that make sense? That should be how Freud's study is considered not to be a science. Right, there are 11 scientific principles. Freud does not like many of them, so go back, find 2 of the principles if you cannot remember them, and link them to Freud and how it's not commonly considered to be science. So tell me what the feature of science is, tell me how Freud has not met that, please. Okay. So as always, 12 minutes, upload all to Teams. I will be giving feedback on this in Tuesday's lesson or whenever our lesson is in college. Okay, so please get this done if you want the most out of it. Thank you. And the last little thing is the key theme question and link into the area. Key theme, obviously, understanding disorders. So this has helped us understand how phobias may be acquired and resolved. That's how it links to that. And then how does it link to individual differences? All about that we're unique and we have different experiences. Okay, so in this case it shows us what an individually reason why Hans would have a phobia of a horse, because that horse resembled his father. It wouldn't resemble anyone else's father in theory. Okay, and we just focus on one person. So that is the work for today. I will be posting Monday's work pretty soon as well, so you have a chance to kind of get that done for when you're in. Okay, but as long as it's done by June, whenever we're in, I'm happy. I'm on Teams as always, you know that. Have fun.